Thank you, Catherine. I don't know how many people like me are saying, oh no, another presentation. I have questions of the past presentations. So I hope everyone isn't thinking like me, oh no, another presentation. But I'm very excited to present. Catherine, I'm going to, this multimedia initiative really requires a lot of explanation. And so, the findings where we have 3 evaluations, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to do justice to the 3 evaluations, and there's no way I could do that in any case 12 minutes or even 12 hours. So Population Foundation of India uses communication to positively influence behaviors across various programs. Our approach, next slide, please. Our approach addresses social factors that determine health. What happened? Addresses social factors that determine health, gender, family planning decisions using multiple media platforms, and messages ensure that we do the most appropriate nudges. Some examples I've given here. I'm not going to deal with anything except the last one, which is Main Kuch Bhi Kar Sakti Hoon, but I just want to quickly say that one of the examples is the Satya kit, which was developed using content of Main Kuch Bhi Kar Sakti Hoon season 2, to develop a program for 800,000 peer educators, a government program under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. And Catherine, not to forget Bas Bahut Ho Gaya, which you greatly encouraged and supported. Enough is enough. This was a program to end violence. And the second is Sex Ki Adalat, which were online web series and films launched across social media, which were evaluated. And there's rich evaluations for all these programs. And more recently, PFI's COVID-19 campaign addresses preventive behaviors, stigma, unity, and mental anxiety across multiple disciplines. And we've reached about 48 million people. So my slide 3 onwards, I'm going to focus on Main Kuch Bhi Kar Sakti Hoon. So the next slide, please. So we launched Main Kuch Bhi Kar Sakti Hoon, which in English translates into I, Woman Can Achieve Anything. This was designed as an entertainment, education, transmedia intervention with the TV serial at the heart of, at the core of the program. And 180 episodes later and into season 3, which got over end of 2019, we used a range of channels to ensure that its message on women's empowerment, family planning, child marriage, violence against women, gender equality, contraception, and sanitization, which was one whole season, were disseminated and reinforced as widely as we could, as you can see here, through TV, radio, community media, community clubs, radio, community radio, the integrated voice response system, where we received more than 2.5 million calls over a period, over 3 seasons, and the digital and social media platforms, which was really much more in season 3, where we also introduced a AI-powered chatbot, which is embedded in the Main Kuch Bhi Kar Sakti Hoon Facebook. So my next slide, I'm going to share very quickly, slide 4, please change. I'm going to quickly share with you our theory of change, which we really explicitly developed for season 3. The overall strategy was to develop entertainment, education, TV, and radio serial using a positive deviance and transmedia approach. would result in intermediate outcomes were to positive shifts in knowledge and attitude towards age at marriage, age at first pregnancy, social norms and beliefs around contraception, increasing conversations between around issues of family planning, increased knowledge on contraceptives, improved attitudes of frontline health workers towards sharing information around family planning and contraception was done. That's where we used all the characters in the serial were either an Asha or an A&M and doctor. The doctor was the main protagonist, and the primary outcomes of the intervention included enabling social environment for young people and men and women to accelerate positive changes in their shifts in norms related to family planning, and increased demand amongst young people for quality reproductive and sexual health, and of course, improving the basket of choice. And the next slide, please. Developing मैं कुछ भी कर सकती हूँ and its approach involved vast amounts of preliminary research, field research, and looking at global evidence of what worked and did not work. Role model was in South Africa, Seoul City, but we looked at programs and evaluations and from across the world on entertainment, across the world, different programs in entertainment education. And we conducted detailed desk reviews, did positive deviance inquiries. All the episodes are based on positive deviance inquiries, which we amplified in the serial. A technical advisory group of international, Indian and global experts were set up. Experts on SBCC and entertainment education provided guidance and review, and this detailed systematic script reviews were coordinated, as well as episodes developed in mind keeping correct messages, as well as entertainment. We did real-time monitoring and feedback through viewers clubs, integrated voice response, which was monitored almost on a daily basis when the serial was on, season was on, and social media ensured that the production team received constant inputs on the popularity and likability of characters and plot lines, which were constantly changed depending on the feedback we got. Multiple evaluations were carried out all through all through the 3 seasons. Also, key to the serial's success, of course, next slide, please, was a renowned and a brilliant theater and film director, Feroz Abbas Khan. I'm feeling quite bad when we had to cut from 15 minutes to 12. I cut 3 minutes of showing you clips, which I hope to, for those of you who do continue, who may be interested, I will forward some clips for you to know the brilliant quality of it. Was Bollywood quality, Feroz being a leading Bollywood director. And next slide, please. The key themes you would have guessed, and I've mentioned them a few times now, but male engagement and spousal communication, I'd like to highlight as one of the big building block focus. Increased conversations on reproductive health and family planning amongst young people. Attitudes of health workers and providers towards young people. Our big goal was to change the behavior and attitudes of health workers too. And we were very fortunate that the health ministry sent out SMSs to all frontline health workers across the country for every episode. We gave excerpts and they sent them out and requested frontline health workers to see the serial. At the outset, the serial was developed in a way that encouraged multi-generational viewership. This resulted in family planning coming together to view, discuss, debate, and finally engaged and act on the issues raised. So, next slide, please. One, in season 3, all throughout, we had a for the evaluation purpose as well as for impact. We had led by Arvind Singhal, Professor Arvind Singhal, we developed a strategy to incorporate markers, which are words, phrases, visual representations, and practices that are aligned with the project's social objectives and integrated into the scripts and outreach strategy of the serial. These markers represent an innovative strategy, we believe, to not only promote new social realities, but also to track how audience members engage with them over a period of time. And the markers developed for season 3 were all strongly rooted in the themes and plot lines of the serial. So we've given a sample of some of the markers in this slide. Mast Pitara was the basket of choice, basket of contraceptives. Mast Bandi being the word that we used for Nas Bandi, which is vasectomy, and must means fun and yeah. And since there is such an aversion towards vasectomy amongst men, the rates are 0.3% in India, while for women, sterilization, the rates are above 50%. Lambi Sagai was long engagement. Aurat ki marzi ka din was women decide to do what they want. Ladli din was celebrating when a girl was born. And so the transmedia approach ensured meaningful engagement with the markers, using multiple platforms to encourage audiences to engage. For example, asking audiences on IVRS to finish songs, lyrics, asking them to, would they do if they were in the shoes of Sneha or Panna. The Sneha is the doctor and Panna is the A&M, Asha worker, or inviting them to share their own stories. On social media, we had puzzles, quizzes, memes, contests. Some prizes were useful in breaking the ice around sensitive taboo topics. These challenges invited audiences to think and talk about the issues associated with the markers. And I'm going to skip slide 9, where the chatbot that we introduced, the artificial intelligent chatbot. I've got very limited time, so I'm going to skip that and go to slide 10, which is what a lot of people may have been waiting for. And season 1 really stunned us. 52 episodes, and we had acceptability. We saw a decrease in the acceptance of domestic violence amongst women and men from 66 to 44%. We had increased knowledge in family planning from 59 to 47%, which was the baseline. 48% men watched Main Kuch Bhi Kar Sakti Hu, in a title, I, a Woman Can Achieve Anything in a very patriarchal society with regressive social norms. What are the chances? We weren't even sure any men will watch. So for us, more than the other data, the 48% men watching the serial and starting conversations starting between couples was an absolute unbelievable evaluation outcome. So we asked actually some experts to reevaluate our evaluation and look at the data analysis to see if we had gone right and if we could really go out and say this had happened. And season 2, we had 55% young people beginning to watch the serial. We had 40% young people in season 1. And of course, we designed the program to increase in a way that increased viewership amongst young people. Conversations between respondents, parents and children started on very sensitive issues. That was a highlight of the evaluation in season 2, apart from the fact that 33% of the male viewers said they were likely to use modern contraceptives in the next 6 months. Season 3, almost equal numbers of men and women reported watching the serial. Knowledge around injectables, which had just been introduced, increased for women viewers by 30 percentage points. 66% of the viewers were likely to discuss timings for the child and post-marriage. I would like to end by saying 2 or 3 things. I believe that the huge changes we saw, in spite of the fact that the literature shows that it's very difficult to change gender norms, is because not only the design or capability of the entertainment education program, including Main Kuch Bhi Kar Sakti Hu, not because the quality was high. I believe that aspirations of women and girls have changed, and especially the other half knows how the better half lives today, and the aspirations as well as their willingness to change is what has really created the change. And there was enough evidence in our conversations with women and directly related to Main Kuch Bhi Kar Sakti, I could say that, but the other research across India and rest of the world, which shows especially the young girls and their aspirations are very different and have given the exposure to the media across India. So I'd like to end with giving all credit to both men and women who have contributed to shifting some norms, some behaviors, or having aspirations to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Poonam. And I know this was a massive effort to actually undertake this. So thanks for sharing it and the measurements and for the work behind that. I now am going to go to Myra Bovnet.